Jordan, thanks so much for coming in, for your time. I was just going to chat on and we'll talk a little bit about your journey and things that made you come and how you found it and all that kind of stuff. So had straightening your teeth been on your mind for a while, or had it come on fairly quickly before you came to see us?
I'd say it's always been on my mind, because it's when you're something you're self-conscious about, there's always that thought of, I would love to do that. But it was actually, I was at a friend's wedding and I got a photograph taken, and when I looked at the photograph, my second tooth was starting to go behind, and the way the sun was shining, it was shadowed and it looked like I was toothless. And I thought, oh my goodness, that is awful, and I just thought that's going to keep happening, so I should maybe speak to somebody about this. And a friend of mine, I obviously knew about you anyway because I'd been in as a child, but my friend had said you should go and speak to Rue. You know, things have come on so far now, so I thought, well, I'll just go in for a chat. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get the result that I would love, because I'd been told in the past to leave my teeth alone. So I just came in to speak to Gemma with an open mind, just for a chat, and I genuinely didn't expect that I would be signing up for Invisalign.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that's what I always encourage folk to just, that's how I try and pitch it, is we'll just see what the options are. You know, I do like not to have a hard sell feel. It's about information gathering. People don't know. Some people come in, this is what I want, and you're like, well, hang on a minute, let's see what we can do. But I try and pitch it as giving people options and helping them find what will work for them. I think the story about the photo is quite a common one.
They had never been straight, so I just accepted that. They weren't too bad. It wasn't to the point where I felt like I had to do something urgently. When I would talk, it was fine, but when I smiled, it was very narrow, and that had been that way all my life, so I just accepted it. But it was when they were obviously starting to move again that I realised that this is just going to keep getting worse. And with my job, you know, I am in front of a camera quite a lot, and I thought to myself, if this is the way it's going to look, you know, shadowed, and I'm going to have to work with lighting and trying to figure out where I can stand, I thought, this is a nightmare. Let's just go and have a chat and see if it can be fixed. And luckily for me, it could be fixed.
How did you find the process, the journey, or do you remember starting initial consultation, and then when you first started on the aligners, how did you find adapting to wearing aligners? Was that much of a challenge? Was it pretty straightforward? Is it a short-term thing, or how did you find that journey starting into treatment?
So the chat with Gemma was great, and then I came in for the consultation with yourself, and I think it was then when you get shown the after, what could be, I thought, yeah, I really want to do that. People who have had the Invisalign try to sort of tell you how it is, and I don't think you can really explain it to anyone in great detail because everybody's so different. But for me, I would say maybe it was a few days. You're very aware of them being in, and obviously they're quite tight to begin with. But for me, it becomes part of your routine. You know that you have to take them out for certain things, put them back in as soon as possible, you know, clean them. There wasn't any shocks along the way. The app was really helpful. So I didn't actually find it that difficult. It kind of, I think the first maybe week you're thinking to yourself, oh, I've got to remember how to do this, and and then it just flows, and then it becomes part of your routine. And actually when you're finished, it's a bit strange, because you're like, oh, your brain says put your aligners in, but you're like, oh no, you know, I don't need to do that till bedtime, you know. I found it actually okay.
How would you reflect on the difference before to now in terms of how you feel about it, more confidence, or how you were interacting and
yeah, definitely. I think the biggest difference I've noticed is my smile and this even began, you know, I would say over halfway into the treatment. I think I was at a wedding and I thought, wow, I can see a difference there, and I wasn't near the end, but because I was so narrow, there was gapping at this side. So now when I take a photograph, it feels much more spread out, and I just honestly, I just love the way they look. I honestly love the way they look, and I didn't realise just how much I maybe didn't, because I it's all you've known. So when you take a photograph, you're just like, yeah. And there's a niggle in your head thinking, oh, that's annoying. I wish I could make that look a bit better. But now, even when I'm talking and filming, I notice a huge difference. And I genuinely didn't think that I would be able to get such a great result. So honestly, I am over the moon. I would say before, I would like class my smile as like a 4? A 4?
That's harsh.
Is that harsh? A 4? I think for me, you know, it was quite narrow. There was, they were sort of overlapping a little bit. And now, I mean, they could be a 10, but 100%, honestly, the difference is unbelievable. And not only me, because other people are noticing, you know, family, my husband, and even friends who maybe haven't seen me for a while have said, wow, like, your teeth look amazing. And I'm like, Beam.
Nailed it. That's awesome. What would you say to any friends who were thinking about their teeth and not quite sure about it? Would you have any, how would you steer them, or what would your pointers be on that? Yes,
I actually have had quite a lot of people, because obviously my job as well, I see a lot of people. So when I was going through the journey, I'd be chatting about it to clients, family, friends, and obviously now I'm through it. I've actually had a family member sign up. She came in, and because she was just so amazed at my result, because obviously she's known me since a child, she's known my insecurities, and we've been through the whole journey. So when she saw what could be done for me, she actually came in and signed up. I have friends who have been in for consultations as well, because I think when you are so happy with a result, personally, it just comes naturally to talk about it, and to rave about it and the experience. And for me, you know, start to finish, it was so easy. And because you don't need to come in all the time, you've got your app, and even on the app, when I would fire a quick question, it would be answered really fast. So if you do have a busy lifestyle, if you know, like myself, I have young children, I've got a business that I run, it makes it so easy. And I think that was one of the main things for me as well. So being able to talk about not only the result, and see the result, everyone can see the result, but also just how much it, you know, slotted into my lifestyle. I think a lot of people have been quite interested by it.
Obviously you're engaging with folk all every day, you're a busy individual with life and work and all the rest of it. I guess when you talked about you getting used to it in the first week, it feeling a little bit conspicuous, it's a bit of an adjustment. After that, did you find people were even aware you were wearing them, or?
No, I think if you have Invisalign yourself, or you're someone who's been through it, you can kind of spot it. So sometimes if anybody been through the treatment, they'd say, have you got Invisalign? And I'd say, yeah, but with myself, because I had the attachments on the front too, it was slightly more noticeable. I was worried that my speech would change, because obviously you have these aligners in your mouth the whole time. And I would say maybe the first week again, you're maybe talking slightly different. But even again, family had said to me, oh, you don't even sound like you have anything in your mouth. So I think unless you were staring and really watching someone's mouth as they were talking, I don't think you would really, you know, notice. And there are a lot of people who don't need the attachments right at the front. So because it is so clear, I think that's what really attracted me as well, and that is why I did ask about Invisalign, because with my life, like I said, and I'm filming quite a lot, I'm taking a lot of photographs, the Invisalign was much more convenient for me in my life than train tracks.
Part of the appeal of the aligners is that fits in with your lifestyle.
Yeah, and they can come out, so, you know, like I said, if I was, you know, going out for a drink or having a curry or, you know, something like that, you know, I can just take these out quickly. There's no staining on your, you know, your braces, and then you can pop them back in once you brush your teeth, and that also was really appealing to me. Whereas I have heard stories of people having, you know, they're stained and they're on there, and I just thought, oh no, that's not for me. That's not for me.
It's that flexibility, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
Awesome.